Hello, welcome back to Divine Fusion 101. Once again, long time no see. You know what I'm saying? New look, new me, another death, another rebirth. Um, and that's how it's supposed to be. So today I want to talk about letting go, letting go of the myth. You know what I'm saying? And I'll explain what I'm talking about. So when I made Divine Fusion, when I wrote the book Divine Fusion, um, it was like it was all my way of articulating how I heal myself. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that other people would find some benefit of it. But it was my way, you know. It's everything that I learned about how to heal before I before I really stepped into this whole thing. It was everything that I had already compiled in my mind. Was like, this is how Drico heals. This is how I do it. And with that, I also created, um, a mythology that was derived from the way that I healed myself. And with that, it turned into a philosophy of how I live by my mythology because of how I heal myself. You know what I'm saying? And it was all beneficial, which was very beneficial. You know what I'm saying? Helped me become this person that I am now, that you see, that I love so much. You know what I'm saying? Um, so after making the book, um, starting a whole philosophy, a whole mythology, involving characters. You know what I'm saying, like P and Gaio, and all that shit. At the time when I was doing all that, I was in I was going through some shit. You know what I'm saying? I was in the darkest places that a human being could fucking imagine. You know what I'm saying? And those characters and that philosophy and that mythology, that shit didn't just help me survive. It was the reason why I did. It was the reason why I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't use those things to really regulate my nervous system and have something to believe in and know about, yeah, my fucking heart would have stopped a long time ago. So so after I, came out of all that and was able to look at my creations, my mythology, my philosophy, you know what I'm saying? My work, the way everything that I created, and the reason why I and how else could you even do that until you take yourself out of that, until you take yourself completely out of that. Otherwise, you're like one of the characters in a book trying to find the author. You know what I'm saying? Like the fuck. So I realized, like, man, I created all these beautiful things, to get where I am now, but it's no longer necessary for me to continue. This myth, this mythology that I created is no longer necessary for me to be, for me to be at peace, for me to be whole, for me to feel like I can just be. And when I knew that, I mean, I had to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? So there was no choice but to let it go, but to let go of of everything that I created. You know what I'm saying? I mean that in a real way. Like when you love somebody, you let them go. You let them be, to be whatever the fuck they want to be, whatever they choose to be, whatever the world has made them to be. You know what I'm saying? And they can choose whether or not they love what they is. You know what I'm saying? But there's only one way to find out, until you just let something be, let somebody be. And that's what I did with Divine Fusion. I let it go. You know, I let it go. And when I did that, as scary as it was, knowing that it might not do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to get nothing in return because it's my creation. You know what I'm saying? It's my baby. This is my characters. You know what I'm saying? This is how I live. But it's not real, is it? Because mythology isn't real, is it? It's a myth, right? It's myths that we live by. It's myths that we recognize. Metaphors that we try to use for everyday simulations. You know what I'm saying? But it's not real. It's never been real. It's just a myth, right? Whether we think we speculate and we can believe, even if we could prove the fucking shit, the fact that it is a myth means we put a lot of fucking faith and hope and belief into it. You know what I'm saying? To mythologize it in the first place. So what is real is me and you, shorty, bro. Like right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what I knew when I did that shit. Like, damn, these characters I made, these are my characters. But they're not. They come from me. You know, why would I try to be something that I made? I could just be instead of just trying to live through my characters. I made these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Shit in Divine Fusion, I made this shit to heal myself, but now I'm healed. So what is it now? What are these characters now? What is us? What is this mythology? And when I did all that, man, I realized, oh, this is all part of the science. But it can only be truly articulated if I let it go. And when I let it go, the myth is now articulated. It is, you know what I'm saying? Magic is not magic anymore. It's just science. You know what I'm saying? All this shit can quantified. You know what I'm saying? And computated. Because I let my shit go. You know what I'm saying? And Divine Fusion evolved just like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing to find the let go of what is no longer necessary. And that's sometimes it's the hardest thing, and you'll never fucking imagine. How could you possibly know what's on the other side of that door? There's no way of knowing actually, but that's the ultimate sacrifice. Like if you love this motherfucker, I mean, what they gonna do for you, right? Shit, they might not do nothing for you, but what that got to do with love? You know what I'm saying? If you're willing to sacrifice, if you're willing to let somebody go, so they can be the best version of themselves, and that's what I learned about all this. You know what I'm saying? About let things go, and as scary as it may be, there's a whole another life on the other side of that shit, on the other side of that death, of that sacrifice, of that willingness, to become. It's a beautiful thing.